Hello, welcome. So this is going to be a nice tailored yoga therapy practice just for you. And it is going to encompass a few different important components. First things first is we're going to observe the breath. We're going to get into a round of diaphragmatic breathing. And we're going to heat up the body with the breath, and then we're going to cool the body down with the breath. In addition to, we're gonna just do a few stretches that I think would be advantageous for your body, as well as getting back into the vagus nerve, just kind of massaging that area of the body, and getting into the thyroid gland. We're also going to practice Bhramari breathing in its fuller estimation, but also in a modified perspective, so that you can lean into these practices as often as possible. Okay, let's begin. So first, let's ground our energy. I invite you to place one hand over your heart, the other atop of your belly. And starting to soften the eyes, feel the earth beneath your body. We're going to just feel the body moving as the breath flows in and out. Feeling that life force energy, that prana moving beneath you, above you, around you, and of course, within you. And just allowing yourself to feel that connection. As you are connecting with your breath, starting to allow your inhales to become deeper, inhaling through the nose. And if possible, exhaling out of the nose or slowly exhaling out of the creases between the lips. And just allowing that gentle movement to go through the body. Starting to press the palms into the body, one pressing into the heart, the other into the belly. And enjoying that connection back to self. Taking a moment here as you are observing your breath, maybe taking a slight tuck of the chin into the body. And thinking of your intention or just an offering of gratitude. Send yourself some love and care. And when you're ready, you're going to take a deep inhalation and open the mouth and release. Two more rounds. Uno más. And just to get a little movement, we're going to inhale the hands up into the sky, lift your heart, feel that little curvature in your spine, and then exhale your hands onto your knees, palms facing down. We're going to take a moment here. We're just going to move the body like water, allowing yourself to get a little bit of movement, get into the lumbar spine, get into the shoulders. Maybe start to release the neck and the jaw. Feeling that sense of relaxation taking over your body. Switching directions if not already. And then we're going to come back through center. We're going to take our fingertips, and I like to start maybe around the temples, just giving myself a massage. You can either just rub down near the temple, the ears, the lymph nodes, getting into maybe the nape of the neck, working yourself around the front. Or you can make swirling patterns, giving yourself a massage, whatever feels best. Just applying a little bit of pressure here. And once you get some momentum and some movement going that you feel comfortable with, invite your breath. Just feeling those inhales at 4 counts. Maybe, if possible, retaining a 4 count of breath and then exhaling for 4. So for example, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 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 hold. Release 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, 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 relax. And allow your normal natural breath to resume before repeating yet again. Still massaging, feeling that connection to the fingertips, to the body. Applying some gentle pressure. Going through another cycle of breath. 4, 4, 4, 4. And when you're ready, we're going to come back to normal, natural connection. And we're just going to do some gentle massaging of the body by way of some gentle movement. So when you're ready, you're going to take an inhale, taking your nose to the sky. Exhale, tucking your chin into your body. When your chin is tucked into your body, take your eye gazes over to the right. And exhale, center. Inhale here, eye gazes to the left. And exhale, center. Inhale, nose to the sky, nice and calm and easy. Exhale, back center. Now we're going to take that left hand over the right side, and we're just going to draw that left ear down to the shoulder. The other hand can stay atop of the thigh or knee or down to the earth if you want an extended stretch. And just focusing on your breath. On your next exhale, take a gentle release. Take a moment. Maybe wiggle the shoulders, lifting the heart a bit, switching directions. And then coming back to a neutralized position, take the opposite hand over and just creating a little bit of resistance and separation to get deeper into the stretch. And once you've discovered the movement in the body or the pose, reconnect with your breath in an intentional way. Inhaling and exhaling. Yes. One more round of breath. And then slowly release. We're going to bring the hands to the shoulders. We're just going to give ourselves a little massage, maybe doing some half moves. Moving nice and slow, not to make ourselves dizzy. And then we're going to slowly come over onto all 4. This is one of my favorite stretches. It helps to relieve tension all the way through the SI joint. So it's really good. So we start in tabletop, hands right under shoulders, fingers as spread as wide as possible, feeling the palms of your hands really connecting. Now, if your feet feel like they're not quite with you, I like to do a little tapping here. Just kind of waking up the feet if that feels okay. Knees are hip distance apart, and then I like to tuck my toes. We're just gonna press the earth away from us, drawing the palms into the mat and the tail down to the heels. And we're just gonna enjoy this little bit of a feeling of flexion in the feet. You might even start to feel it in the calves a bit. If it feels too intense, of course you can just shift your weight a little bit forward. But for now, we're gonna hold this pose. Now your eye gazes are gonna start to look down between your thumbs. We want to neutralize the cervical spine, the back of the neck here. So we don't want to look at the video, right? So you're just gonna listen to the sound of my voice and just allow your eye gazes to go right off the tip of your nose down to the earth. And when you're ready, we're gonna shift our weight forward and we're gonna release the tops of our feet. And if again, this feels good, tap it out. And then before we move on, I like to take my arms out. I call this stretchy kitty cat. And I like to take my head and rest it in between my shoulder blades, maybe shaking my head yes, or shaking it from side to side. So just getting into that deeper stretch and really enjoying it here. And when you're ready, we're gonna take that foot, one of our feet, pick your favorite one, and we're gonna tuck it behind us. And then we're just gonna shift our weight through the palms of our hands toward the heels or towards the back of the mat. And you're going to invite that stretch. Now, if it gets too locked in the knee, then you wanna do a little slight bend, or you just wanna shift your weight a little bit forward. So we don't wanna hyperextend the knee at all. And again, eye gaze is right in between your thumbs. Release and relax your cervical spine through the back of your neck. Start to notice your breath, feeling those deeper inhales and exhalations. One more round of breath. Now, as we advance this practice, I like to take a deep inhale, and as I exhale, I like to tuck my chin into my body, and vice versa. I like to take a deep inhale as I tuck my chin, and exhale, release. So those are some additional practices, giving your thyroid gland a nice massage there, but we'll work our way into that. We're gonna tuck the opposite toe, press the earth away from us, get into that stretch. And maybe now it would feel good to shake your head from left to right, right to left. Just giving your neck a little release. Again, feeling the palms of your hands pressing into the mat. You're gonna feel a little bit of your muscles engaging here through your triceps and your biceps. And it might feel like a lot of effort, and as long as you can breathe through it, if it's too much, then you can just soften your stance. And then we're gonna come back to center. Now I like to wag my puppy tail, taking ear to shoulder each side, or some students really like to just drop their hips from side to side, maybe hanging out on one side for an extended amount of time, just enjoying the stretch. Now, one of my favorite things to do is to get into the hips in a nice low lunge. We're gonna take one of our legs and just drop it in between the fingers. This is a great place to have your blocks or come high up on your tippy fingers. And then just slide that opposite foot behind you. Now, if you're still working on your toes or you wanna get that deeper stretch into your quadricep, you can tuck those toes behind you or keep them flat. Now, once we feel that exhalation into the pelvis here, I like to walk my foot out into that lizard pose. Now, granted, you can stay high up, you can come down low, or you can twist into that hip flexor. So yogi's choice here. And take your time, right? This is a practice that you can hang out in for a while, or you can just come and check out for a little bit. But noticing your breath and kind of discovering what your body needs here. Now, we haven't talked about pelvic breathing, but as you start to take those deep inhales, right, you're releasing through your pelvic floor by your body's own intuitive self. So you can take these deep inhalations and you can allow that release to happen in your pelvic floor nice and naturally, holding and retaining that breath for a round or two. Or you can get deeper into your diaphragmatic breathing. So we'll practice that. So we're gonna start to walk that foot back in between, and we're just gonna do that nice little stretch here, drawing the toes towards your nose. Hands can be anywhere, right? They can be on top of blocks here, forward. We're not gonna live in this particular pose very long, although you could if it felt really good for you. And then we're gonna come back. And we're just going to bring our hands to the mat and step back, drop our knees. And we're just gonna take like a modified child's pose. So we're not gonna go into a full inversion where our head is gonna dip right below the heart. So we're just gonna stretch it out, keeping the eye gazes up, noticing that difference here. And then I like to sweep my body forward, coming into a nice little sill on a rock or cobra, and then coming back to tabletop. So take a moment, make sure your hands are right under those shoulders, knees are hip distance apart. We're gonna walk that opposite foot right in between the hands, and we're gonna slide that other foot behind us. Again, option to tuck the toe and kind of check in and see what that feels like. You can kind of feel a little bit of a stretch happening in the quad there, or you can flatten that foot. So we're gonna take a moment. I like to take a round of breath or two and just kind of get into the pelvis, get into the hips here, kind of activate that extension. And then I like to walk that foot on the outside of my hands, getting into my lizard on this side. So again, this can get nice and deep, or I like to take a twist from time to time. So this is a good time to check in with yourself. Now, once you've established the pose and you've picked the pose that works best for you today, this is a good opportunity for you to connect back with your breath. So finding those deep inhalations, those lovely exhales, allowing yourself to breathe and extend that breath, pausing the breath, releasing the pelvic floor, and then exhaling. And again, if that feels like too much, then just find a normal cadence of breath that feels natural for your body at this point. Now, I believe that pranayama is the foundation to healing, breath work, controlled breathing in particular. And pranayama is not something that we typically learn, right? We think we're learning it, but controlling the breath is not easy. It's quite challenging, actually. We're gonna walk that foot in between the hands, and we're just gonna lengthen that leg, toe toward the nose, and walk the hands as much as we want that stretch. However, as we continue on our journey through yoga therapy, a big part of working out the embodiment of your body and mind connection is through the breath. And in Raja Yoga, which is a very disciplined practice, we learn about the Yoga Sutras according to Patanjali. And there's a lot of learning how to control by way of technique, how to cleanse and control the prana, the life force energy, so that we can receive that prana in a way that is best suited for the body and the mind, therefore the spirit. So it's a big part of our personal practice is the breath. So that's something we want to become most acquainted with, even before we even start to think about ways to get into meditative states. There's a lot we need to do after we learn to breathe before we can start to really calm the mind in profound ways. We're going to come out of this. You're going to gently take your time, right? Take as much time as you need. We're going to come back down, and we're just going to do that same little stretch. Just kind of sticking our tail out behind us, drawing our tail to our heels, not going into the full child's pose, right? Not taking that full inversion in this particular case. And then we're going to sweep our hearts through, going into that cobra, or I like to call it little sill on a rock. Pretending that little ball is resting atop of your nose. Yes. One more round of breath. And then exhale, come back center. We're just going to sweep those feet around in front of us, taking our time to arrive, bringing the bottoms of the feet together in a nice bound angle. Hands can be placed wherever, right? Ankles, feet higher up. You can have a couple of blocks placed under the knees or bolsters even. And this is a practice where we're just going to start to draw the shoulders up and float them down a bit. You're not going to create this total curvature in the spine, so you're not going to like all of a sudden go like from neutralized to getting a big dip. You want to keep kind of that neutralized spine, but you're just going to lift your heart. There's a bit of a subtlety there. So as you do that, we're going to slowly let the head rest atop of the shoulders. And then we're going to take a deep inhale and exhale. And if you're up to it, we're going to take a deep inhale and we're going to tuck our chin into chest on the inhale and then exhale here. creating that little bind, that little banda, that little connection there. Halinhara banda. And we can stay here for several rounds of breath. Sometimes it feels good to draw the nose toward the toes, even if it's just in theory. I like to have a bolster or block here, placing it right under my head, and I can rest here for a while. So if that feels good to you, you can take a pause and just hang out here. This is such a stress reliever. Either way, we're going to take a few rounds of breath. You're going to feel the back of your body expanding as your lungs are pressing into the rib cage, really starting to exercise the muscles of the back and expansion through the front of the body. We're looking for that, right? We want to start to train the body to take deeper breath, less superficial breathing, feeling that expansion from shoulder to shoulder. Sometimes it feels good to take a few audible exhales and really just send a message to your nervous system that you are calm and relaxed and happy, all of the things. One more round of breath. We're going to slowly rise in whichever capacity that you chose to be in. We're going to come out of it. And we're going to walk our feet in front of us. We're going to come down onto our forearms. We're going to lay on our back. And if it feels good, take a nice, delicious stretch of the body, pointing the toes and fingers in opposite directions. And then we're going to bring the knees back to the sky. And we're just going to do some windshield wipers, just dropping those knees from side to side. Now, we like to start to mirror the breath with the body. So as you inhale the knees up, exhale them to each side. Yes. Only moving as fast as your breath will allow you. Wonderful, exactly. Some of my favorite ways of getting embodied is by doing some gentle pelvic floor releases and activations by doing tilts. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to expand on the experience that your body's having. But over time, the more you do it, the more you breathe, the easier it becomes. So we're going to take a moment. We're going to draw the knees back toward the sky, hip distance apart. We're going to bring our hands to our hips. Make sure you can see me here. And this is just so we can feel the tilting. So I like to take an inhale, and we're going to tilt the pelvis to 12 o'clock or toward the nose. And then exhale, tilt the pelvis toward the toes or 6 o'clock. And you're going to feel that little space between yourself and the, you're going to feel that little space between yourself and the mat. And it's going to be as if you are placing something right under the body, like a little grate that you can smash, and then you're smashing it and drawing a close to that grate. So as you tilt the pelvis, you're going to keep moving through those pelvic tilts with your breath. Okay, so as you're moving through your pelvic tilts, this is a place where I highly recommend you slowly start to move your body gently, enjoying every movement, feeling your breath. And we're going to take a few more rounds of those pelvic tilts, just moving the body. We're going to eventually roll over onto our left side, taking a moment and bringing ourselves to a fetal posture. Closing down the eye gazes, giving yourself a little hug, rolling yourself into a little ball. We're gonna take a few rounds of breath here. Now this might be challenging, and that is okay if it is. We're gonna activate some deeper breath. I'm going to guide you through the practice. What we will do is we will inhale for 4 counts. We will retain the breath for 7, and we will exhale for 8. I will guide you, and if at any time this doesn't feel good, just let it go and find your normal, natural breathing. And when you're ready, let's begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 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 hold. Release. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, 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 relax. Taking a moment in this position, maybe noticing what's coming up for you in your mind or your body. Ideally, when we retain our breath that long, that could be a bit of an advanced challenge. So if that didn't feel good and you had to let it go, that is okay. We will eventually work our way into a deeper practice. Now, this practice is very diaphragmatic, but it's also very toning for the vagal nerve, which is what we want. We want that deep activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. But we also want to be able to start to massage the parts of the body that send beautiful, interesting, and profound messages to other parts of the body. So the vagal nerve actually works all the way from the side of the brain, all the way down to the body, and it helps us with digestion, it helps us with relaxation, it really helps us in so many different capacities, from how we breathe, to how we think, and to how we feel. Alrighty, we're gonna slowly rise, take your time, coming back to a normal posture. We're gonna come into a seated posture, and we're gonna practice the 4, 7, 8 breath yet again. Now, I like to bring my hands and place them over my knees, but it might feel good to bring your hands, one over the heart, one over the belly. You'll have to excuse this little rambunctious yogi Bella because she wants to go and play, but we're going to finish this. So take a moment, observe your breath, maybe soften the gazes. And when you're ready, I will guide you. Let's begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 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 hold. Release. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, 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 relax. Wonderful. All right, finally, we're gonna come and we're gonna do a little bit of Bhramari breathing, bee's breath. But before we do, I invite you to place your hand right over your vocal cord or right over your thyroid. You're gonna do a little slight tuck of the chin toward the body, so not all the way down, but not all the way expanded. We want that area nice and relaxed. And then we're gonna bring our awareness to our breath. And you might start to feel a physical reaction to those inhales and exhales. And then we're gonna start by just humming. So as you inhale and you exhale, you're gonna find like a deep alto tone, like a instead of a if you can hear that at all. And you're going to say M or And you're going to inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to hum it. Now, if you're comfortable, you can use universal consciousness of or but is plenty to begin. So let's inhale and let's make sound. And we will repeat that 3 times in a row. So feel free and continue. Feeling that deep umming or sound, inhaling and filling your lungs. And as you exhale, you keep humming until there's no breath left. Mm. And then relax. Just taking a moment here. So Bee's breathing is similar. So in the most simplistic way of doing it, you can go inhale and go, which is what I teach my children, my yogi children that I teach yoga to. I'm a children's yoga teacher first and foremost, so a lot of that crosses over. But you can inhale, you can buzz, or you could or you can do what you just did, right? So that's sort of a part of Bee's breathing. Now, in the fuller expression of Bhramari breathing, we actually close down valves so that we can get into pranayama. So we're gonna take our fingertips. You're gonna see your thumbs here, and you're gonna see that little flap on the ears that has a real anatomical name that I cannot remember at this moment. So we're gonna take the thumbs, we're gonna place them in those spaces. You're gonna take your earth fingers or your ring fingers, and you're gonna slowly start to close down the nostril valves, okay? If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can just apply a little bit of pressure. The other fingers will go over the lips, the others over the eyes, and then your pointers will go right toward the third eye. So if you can manage to connect all of these areas of the body, then please do. There we go. There we go. And if you can't get your fingers to reach down over the lips, or that is fine as well, right? So something similar to this, where you start to close down the valve. So the idea is that the eyes are closed, the nose is closed, the ears are closed. You are practicing pratyahara, which is the 4th limb of yoga, or the 5th limb of yoga, excuse me. It is the withdrawal of senses. So after pranayama, after the practicing of the breath, we withdraw the senses. And then we concentrate with dharana, and then we get into this deeper awareness of dhyana, which is meditation. And then some say that is the preparation for meditation, not meditation in and of itself. However, that's a philosophical point. With that said, feel free to close whatever valves make sense. You can just shut your eyes, and you can just place your fingers over your nose and over your ears. You're not sticking your fingers in your ears. You're really just closing them down. So when you're ready, you're going to take your inhales. We're going to start with 4, 4, 4, 4. And if you like, we can move to 4, 7, 8. Okay, totally up to you. So when you're ready, let's begin. And I will guide us. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 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 release, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax, 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 relax. Now, I wasn't able to count you in and create the humming sound. So I advise you to make sure you're creating that humming sound. We're going to do it again. I will count you in. You're going to close the nose, the ears, the eyes, or some variation thereof. If that's too much, you can just hum and close the eyes down, kind of escape your surroundings. So when you're ready, don't forget to hum. Begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 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 hold. Release with a hum. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, 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 relax. Now, usually, if you've taken a deep inhale, your humming will actually be a prolonged exhale in comparison to your inhale, and that's what we want. So we want to move into that 4, 7, 8 range if possible, eventually 8, 7, 8, or even 10, 8, 10, right? We want to get deeper into these practices. But for now, let's see if we can do that with 4, 7, 8. So I'm going to count us in. And this time I'm going to hum on the exhale instead of, but you feel free to continue shutting down the valves of the eyes, the nose, and the ears. And when you're ready, let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 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 hold. Release with a hum. Relax, 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 relax. So, if you want to really get deep into this practice on your own, just begin with grounding your energy, giving yourself a massage, starting to notice your breath, starting to just stretch the body from the neck, the shoulders, the lower back, relaxing and releasing through the legs, perhaps some cat-cows, which we didn't do today. And starting to open up the hips, maybe in a lizard pose or even malasana, yogi squat over time. I like to lay on my back and do some windshield wipers, maybe some supine twists where I just lay on my back and twist for a while on each side. Some pelvic tilts, come back through a seated posture, nice little bound angle or butterfly. And then, of course, somewhere in there, we forgot our fetal posture, giving ourselves a hug. And then focusing on your box breathing, your 4, 4, 4, 4s, or getting into some deeper prolonged ratio breathing for diaphragmatic breath, 4, 7, 8, 4. And adding in humming, stimulating your thyroid gland, maybe starting to take an inhale and holding that as you exhale, giving that massage. So we will continue to expand on these practices, but these are my favorite go-tos for vagal nerve and pelvis releasing, pelvic floor releasing. These are really beneficial for a multitude of things that pop up in the body and in the mind. So, alrighty. That is going to conclude today's practice. Let's take a moment. Let's leave with some grounding. Bringing our hands into Anjali Mudra, feeling the palms of the hands connecting. Taking a gentle tuck of the chin. I really love lotus flowers. So I like to keep the pinkies and thumbs connected. The pinkies representing water, the thumbs representing fire. Starting to feel this opening as we inhale, lifting through the lotus flower. As we exhale, breathing the prana into that flower. And then encapsulating that energy. Taking a moment and bringing to mind all that we are grateful for. As you inhale, inhale a mantra. I am, I love, I am healthy, I am grateful, I am loved. And as I exhale, I repeat the mantra, you are loved. You are loved, you are loved. Thank you for allowing me to guide you. And I look forward to the next steps of the journey. Om Shanti Om. May peace be with you.